I want you to hit me as hard as you can.
Hey everybody, it's Chris Bumray here again for Joe Blow from CinemaCon in Las Vegas, and we just got out of Paramount Pictures' big presentation, which was all about my favorite actor, and probably a lot of yours too, Tom Cruise. So I'm going to give you guys my quick reactions to the footage that we saw from Mission Impossible 7 and the first 12 minutes plus the new trailer for Top Gun Maverick. So here we go. Mission Impossible 7. We didn't see much cut together footage for it because they are still filming now. We saw kind of a sizzle reel which showed us glimpses of the villain, which is played by Esai Morales from La Bamba. I love that guy. You see a little bit of Haley Atwell, Rebecca Ferguson, Simon Pegg, Ving Rhames. Everybody's back and it seems like they're having a great time. It looks like a typical Mission Impossible movie, right? Massive scale. I'd say it looks like the biggest Mission Impossible movie yet, but I mean, how can you really say that? Each film just kind of tops the other, you know, by coming out. Every Mission Impossible movie is just massive. So saying that this is going to top all the others is almost you know, a joke at this point. So the meat of the presentation was they were talking about the huge stunt that they do in the film. It's this cliff jump off of a cliff in Norway that turns into a base jump, and it looks sick. It looks completely insane. So apparently Tom Cruise spent 2 years training to do this stunt, and they decided to film it the first day of principal photography because apparently that's how they always do it on Mission Impossible movies. So you see Cruise doing all this base jump training, and then he does all this motocross training, which looks incredibly badass. And, you know, the fact that the guy's pushing 60 and keeps pushing himself like this more and more as he gets older is just insane to look at. And you get to see a little bit of Tom Cruise in action with him telling somebody, don't be careful, be confident. And I think that kind of sums up Tom Cruise perfectly, right? I mean, I think the guy really is confident. He's training for the stunt. He puts in some earplugs and he tells the cameraman, oh, I always put these in so I don't hear myself scream. But I feel like Cruise is quiet on the way down. I think Cruise believes at this point that, you know, he's got everything under control. So anyway, they're doing the stunt where he basically drives off this massive ramp onto the cliff and then falls endlessly. And you get to see Chris McQuarrie shooting everything with this panic look on his face because he doesn't want his leading man to die. So Cruise does the motorcycle stunt and then falls endlessly. And you could hear people gasping in the theater because he's falling for a really long time. And then the parachute opens and Chris McQuarrie almost breaks down, right? Everybody's thrilled. It looks like the stunt is kind of an homage to Rick Sylvester's famous stunt in The Spy Who Loved Me. But, you know, it's Tom Cruise actually doing it. So here's the funny thing. Tom Cruise lands. He's fine. Everything went well. People are congratulating him on the stunt. And he goes, you know, I think I could hold the motorcycle a little bit longer. Let's do it again. So he does the stunt again and again and again and again and again, in all 6 times. I mean, you know, that's Tom Cruise though, right? I mean, that's why you go see a Tom Cruise movie. The guy just pushes himself and it's unbelievable. So Mission Impossible 7 looks amazing. Of course, what's coming out long before that is Top Gun Maverick, which, man, I've been waiting for years, you know. They had to stop filming because Tom Cruise wanted to learn to fly jets for real, which is, you know, typical Tom Cruise. Then, of course, the pandemic hit and, you know, they wanted to save it for a theatrical release. And I can see, having watched the first 12 minutes in Dolby, you know, Dolby Cinemas, why they would want to do that, because it looks absolutely immense. So here's something cool. It starts off almost exactly like the 1986 Tony Scott film. It's even got the same font, the same color palette. It's amazing. It's credited as a Don Simpson, Jerry Bruckheimer production, which is really neat because, you know, Don Simpson died in 1996, but famously produced the original film with Bruckheimer. And it has that Harold Faltermeyer Top Gun fanfare playing, right? And then as they're preparing jets for takeoff, right? And then as the first jet takes off, boom, it goes into Kenny-Loggins' this danger zone. I mean, the credits are interesting because you get to see that the score is by Harold Faltermeyer and Hans Zimmer. And definitely as the clips went on, it does sound like a good mixture of both. All the Top Gun themes are back. The cast list is interesting too because Val Kilmer is billed pretty prominently. So I'm hoping he's got a good role in the film. So we cut to the Mojave Desert, and Tom Cruise is as Maverick is working, testing out airplanes for and jets for the military, well, for the Navy. He's got a shrine built to Goose, and a bunch of classic planes. You know, it looks like he lives in like an airplane hangar. It's you know, it's very Mavericky. So anyway, he's got to get this jet up to Mach 9. That's what they're supposed to do. But then basically his nemesis in the film, Admiral Kane, played by Ed Harris, orders that the program be scrapped because they can't get up to Mach 10. So Cruise's Maverick decides to take one last flight to get the plane up to Mach 10 so that he can save the program, because Ed Harris is all about drones and Maverick doesn't believe in drones. He likes the manned airplanes, of course, because that's Maverick. I didn't think Maverick would be into drones. So what happens is he's ordered to stand down. He doesn't. He takes off in the plane and buzzes Ed Harris's car, just kind of like he did in the first movie when he buzzed the tower. The thing is, though, Ed Harris doesn't react. He seems like he's a hard guy. Anyway, so Cruise is getting the plane up, and the plane's falling apart, and it's looking really dicey. And then he's talking to Goose. He's like, man, tell me what to do, Goose. And then he gets up to Mach 10. Everybody's thrilled. But then in typical Tom Cruise fashion, more so than even Maverick, he decides, he could push things a little bit further, right? Let's get it up to 10.1. Let's get it up to 10.2. Let's keep going. So the plane starts to fall apart, right? You cut to Ed Harris, and Ed Harris tells him over the comms, "You got balls. you got balls, stick jockey. I'll tell you that much." And Cruise is pretending that the comms don't work, so that's why he's able to do the flight and disregard orders. Of course, the plane completely falls apart and is destroyed. Maverick manages to bail out, and he parachutes into a diner in somewhere in the United States, and walks into the diner for a glass of water and asks people where he is. And some little kid looks at him and says, "Earth." So from there, it cuts to the new trailer for the movie, which is really cool because it gets to show you the premise. So basically, Cruise's Maverick is in trouble because of the airplane, and Ed Harris wants him out of the Navy, but apparently Iceman now is kind of like the most prominent admiral, right? He's the head honcho, and he saves his career by having him assigned to be an instructor at Top Gun, which is run by John Hamm's character, who's kind of like the Tom Skerritt figure in this film. So I guess that makes Maverick kind of like Michael Ironside. And he has to train the recruits, and one of the recruits is, of course, Goose's son, played by Miles Teller, who has like the Goose mustache, but hates Maverick because he blames Maverick for the death of his father. Overall, it looks like an amazing movie. So I said that Iceman saves his career, but we don't actually see Iceman. We just see a portrait of him. I'm assuming, though, that Kilmer has a pretty good role, like I said, because of the billing. What's interesting about this is that it seems like there's quite a bit of drama in it, which is like the first movie. The first movie, I think everybody remembers it for the action, but it was essentially a drama, and it seems like that's kind of the vibe they're going for here, which makes me happy, because I wasn't sure when Joseph Kosinski signed on if they'd be doing that, but it turns out that they are. As a Tom Cruise fan and as a massive fan of Top Gun, I think it looks amazing. I cannot wait to see it, and it killed me that they turned it off after 12 minutes. But I'll be first in line when this baby opens up in theaters. So that's my reaction from CinemaCon, and stay tuned for more.